Um, if you want to know why I don't like Pulp, I mean, I can tell you.
Right, okay, why? Because
Load of affected beta
Affected?
male nonsense.
Beta male.
I mean, I do appreciate, that I myself come from Greece and have a thirst for knowledge, but I don't like the affected nature of what Cocker does. Everything seems to be a performance, like an act. I reckon he's a right old dickhead in real life.
Yeah, but I mean, most of the bands that you like, they are even more problematic dickheads, aren't they? But they're alphas, so you respect their craft.
There's an honesty to it.
There's an honesty to Slash playing his guitar, looking like a big sack of potatoes on the end of a stage in the Glastonbury sunshine.
I thought you were going to say a big sack of potatoes on the end of a stick then, which would have been quite nice. No, look, I think that's fair. I think, but the difference between Slash and Jarvis, well, I mean, they can't get into how long, that would take a long time, wouldn't it? But
similar STDs, you imagine.
Slash is quite brazen with all the things he's done.
Right, okay.
I don't reckon there's any skeletons in Slash's closet because he wrote about it in his book. And people still like him.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone steps up to watch Axl Rose and Slash and doesn't know the type of people they're dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you watched Axl Rose and Slash doing their thing, and in the middle of the set suddenly went, that would be a weird reaction to have, because the price of admission to a rock and roll concert is sort of going, these men are disgusting.
One of the reviews of Guns N' Roses gave them 4 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5 at Glastonbury because Axl Rose was too nice.
Oh right, he didn't leave them. Well, it was Lana Del Rey who was like an hour late, wasn't she?
Yeah, she
because
was
her hair was
doing
wet or
the rock
something.
and roll thing. Yeah, I just there's just something I can't put my finger on it necessarily. It's probably irrational. I don't like Pulp. I don't like people who like Pulp, and I don't like people who associate with people who like Pulp.
Okay, it's just a weird. They're pretty inoffensive, but how would you feel if I was a big Blur fan? How would you feel if I was a... We'll have to do like a listening session where we listen through the entire of his and hers.
I'd feel the same. I don't like Blur either.
Right. So I feel about Blur the same way that you feel about Pulp.
Right, that's interesting.
Let's not even get on to Oasis.
When you look at Albarn and think, what the fuck is this guy playing at? That's what I think of when I think of Cocker. And it's not the same as Oasis. Here's a thing for you. Here's the thing. I don't think I've talked about this before. One of the things that's interesting and wrong, like objectively wrong, is that the retrospectives of like the mid to late 90s, of Oasis versus Blur versus Pulp and all the rest of it, it's completely confected. It's completely manufactured.
Yeah.
There is no way on earth that either Blur or Pulp are in the same category in terms of popularity and impact as Oasis were. That's just a fact. If you look at record sales, you look at everything else, it's not anywhere near the same. There was that one period where they had Rolled It versus Country House, that big who was going to get to number one, the Britpop Wars thing, for one summer in like 1995 or 96 or whatever it was, 96 maybe. And that's been extrapolated out to be, people were either an Oasis or a Blur fan. It's nonsense. Oasis sold millions more records than Blur and Pulp put together by miles. The impact, if you go back and look at the Britpop sales, Oasis are in a league of their own. If there was a Mount Rushmore of Britpop artists, it would just be Noel and Liam Gallagher. Now, it doesn't mean to say they're kind of creatively
hang on, you would do 2 Noel Gallaghers and 2 Liam Gallaghers for the Mount Rushmore.
Room for one extra one.
I've already done.
Who's the extra one?
Bonehead.
Probably Bonehead.
He already looks like a bit like a top of a mountain.
Yeah, he could be whittled onto there, no problem. I don't think you whittle stone, though, do you?
No,
I think.
It has to be circular, I think. Has to be
Does
like
it?
A pool cue. You whittle, it's a round thing, isn't it? It has to be cylindrical to whittle.
People like different things. It's fine.
They do, yeah.
But I think it's morally reprehensible that you choose to go to a field and watch Pulp.
They were fucking brilliant. And
great. How long did they play for?
They played for... It was only like an hour and a half. It's quite short, really. That's why I am genuinely considering going to see them at the Apollo.
Oh, my goodness me.
Well, you just sort of think, like, what? Like,
hair of the dog that bit you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they were on... I mean, look, you can't... Like, the level of song is just so damn high. I Spy, Disco 2000, Misshapes, Something Changed, Pink Glove. That first 5...
The rent is too damn high.
That first 5, absolute bangers. And then they came back, so they finished with a couple of tracks from the album I don't like, which is We Love Life. I don't, and to be honest, when I was singing This Is Hardcore, which is of course from the album This Is Hardcore, I realised that a lot of the people who were singing along to His and Hers and a couple of the older tracks, their interest in Pulp very much stopped at This Is Hardcore, because I was the only one singing the lyrics to This Is Hardcore.
Right.
Maybe they didn't want to sing it because it's a bit dirty, but I was singing like you wouldn't believe.
That is kind of interesting, because that is a show presumably where people have gone because they know Pulp's headlines. So it's not like a Glastonbury thing where you go along and you see the different bands you like and you check out some other bands, and so the audience can be a bit indifferent. This is a dedicated Pulp show, right?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Okay, because we had that conversation last week, didn't we, roughly, about like the Arctic Monkeys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
About how, play the hits, you fucking wankers, that kind of thing. And so people were saying that with Pulp up to a point where, because you are on record, and we've got a load of emails following up on this, which we'll come on to at some point, as saying that Pulp have got however many albums they've got in a row. I can't remember which ones you're talking about, but
I think I said three bangers. I think their third album was His and Hers. Officially.
So that's their fourth, isn't it? It's His and Hers, different class, and This Is Hardcore, their fourth, fifth, and sixth record.
Yeah. So
that's the ones you're saying are good.
Sorry, yeah. So that's the run of 3 that I.
But
really
not even Pulp's own
there.
fans are saying that This Is Hardcore's any good.
Turns out a lot of the people who are in that field weren't This Is Hardcore fans. So I was really surprised, really. But they finished with like they had an encore, and like their whole thing is, the big refrain from This Is Hardcore is about what exactly do you do for an encore, dirty boy. And so a lot of like the branding pre kind of like show is like, this is what we do for an encore. This is the show that we do for an encore. And then they did an encore, and it was one song, and it was Razzmatazz, which is like one of their first singles, but like it's not a well-known song in the grand scheme of Disco 2000 and Common People. So good on them. I enjoyed it, but no other fucker else did.
Does people still get busy for Common People?
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, that was the banger, wasn't it? Disco 2000 and Common People. If there were quite a lot of people who just came along because it's wet leg are on, or it's just something to do, and they really like cues for warm IPA. But like.